Hello and welcome to Marvel Stadium in the sports capital, Melbourne, Australia. Wherever you're watching around the world on Foxtel here in Australia and ESPN in the United States of America, we're here to announce one of the biggest fights in world boxing this year. Hi, I'm your host, Eddie Maguire, and welcome to this announcement today that is just going to fill boxing fans absolutely to the brim. This is magnificent. I'll begin today by acknowledging the people of the Wurundjeri, the Kulin Nation, the traditional owners of the land we gather on today, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Thank you all for joining us today for this significant announcement. And to make it official, please welcome the Acting Minister for Victorian Tourism, Sport and Major Events, the Honourable Jala Pulford. Minister.
Thank you so much, Eddie, and it is an absolute thrill to be here at Marvel Stadium with you this morning. It gives me enormous pleasure to announce that Melbourne will host the lightweight world title fight between George Kambosos Jr. and Devin Haney right here in Melbourne at Marvel Stadium on Sunday the 5th of June. This is one of the world's most anticipated boxing matches, and we are so excited that these great rivals have chosen the major events and sports capital of Australia to stage their fight. The two boxers are world title holders, and the match will attract 50,000 fans, but of course, not just those here at Marvel, but millions that will watch from around the world. The people of Melbourne, we know, will get behind this great event, as they do with all the great events, and will absolutely ensure that we have an unforgettable lightweight world title fight. This is a sports-mad city, and our sporting events always attract a large and enthusiastic and excited crowd. We're a city of major events, the Formula One Grand Prix just around the corner, the Australian Open, the Super Rugby, and just announced yesterday, Manchester United playing here in a few months' time. We look forward to welcoming boxing fans from around Australia and around the world to see this epic contest here at Marvel Stadium here in Melbourne. Our government is supporting a packed calendar of events, a jam-packed calendar of events through this year, and we are so proud to support this event coming to Marvel. I want to wish both fighters the very best of luck and look forward to watching along with the rest of the world as Kambosos defends his world title belt right here in Melbourne. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you, Minister. That is amazing news. So big for this city, but also for world boxing. Thank you very much. And it's going to be right here at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne on Sunday, June the 5th. Australia's unified lightweight world champion, George Kambosos Jr., will put all four of his championship belts on the line against American Devin Haney for the undisputed championship of the world.
George Kambosos Jr. He's conquered the world. And just as he promised, he's returning home to fulfill his destiny. The Emperor fighting for world domination. All that's left to take, the final belt. And in its way is the undefeated Devin the Dream Haney. A world champ straight out of Vegas. With 27 wins, 15 KOs, he's coming to spoil the party. It's Australia's boxing event of the century. A world title unification fight. Marvel Stadium, Melbourne, Australia. Sunday, June 5. A mega fight for the undisputed champion. You won't want to miss this.
Yeah, you better believe it. In just 2 months' time, 50,000 people will pack this very stadium, and millions across the world will be watching on Foxtel's main event in Australia and ESPN in the United States as George Ferocious Kambosos collides with Devin Haney in what is going to be one of the most anticipated fights of 2022. It's been just 4 months since Kambosos shocked the world to capture the Ring magazine, WBO, IBF and WBA lightweight world titles, as well as the WBC franchise championship, with one of the biggest upsets in world boxing, and what a fight it was. Now, this undefeated superstar is hell-bent on winning the only title he doesn't hold, and that is Haney's WBC World Lightweight Championship. This is something we haven't seen for years. This morning, Kambosos will join me live on stage in a few moments' time, and live from Los Angeles, California in the United States, we'll speak to Devin Haney, his father and trainer Bill, and legendary boxing promoter Bob Arum, and George's manager Lou DiBella. It's going to be a wonderful morning to talk about boxing as we build up to this amazing fight. This event is promoted by DiBella Entertainment, Top Rank, Ferocious Promotions, Devin Haney Promotions, Duco Events, and TEG Sport. It's now time to welcome Rachel Carroll, Managing Director of TEG Sport and Experiences, to talk us through this amazing event.
Thank you, Eddie. So Marvel Stadium, Melbourne, a world title fight, Kambosos v Haney, and a fight for the undisputed champion of the world. This is huge, and this stadium is going to be packed to the rafters with sports fans who are going to form part of Australia's boxing history. Very clearly, as you've heard, this fight would not be happening without the support of the Victorian Government, and I thank the Minister and the Government for their huge support of this event and many other events in this great city of Melbourne. Great occasions take a lot of time and a lot of work, and I'm delighted that TEG Sport, together with Duco Events, have been entrusted to put on this historic event. I can't wait to create a world-class environment for this really important fight in the careers of both Kambosos and Haney. To Lou DiBella of DiBella Entertainment, well, what a journey it's been to get here. Congratulations that we're here today announcing this. I know it's taken a lot of effort to stitch this all together. We look forward to working with the likes of Top Rank and legendary Bob Arum and his team, to Foxtel, to ESPN, to take this event around the world to all its fans. Now, this will be a daytime event in Australia, a packed undercard culminating in the main event mid-afternoon. That will allow it to go into the US in prime time Saturday night. Now, given the significance of this event, tickets are going to go fast. As of today, you can buy corporate hospitality, including the well-sought-after ringside seats, are now available for purchase. And for all our fans across Australia and around the world, travel packages with tickets are now available to this great event. General admission tickets, a little bit of a longer wait, 22nd of April, so get ready for that. So to George, to Devin, let's pack this place out, and I'll see everybody here on the 5th of June in Melbourne. Thank you. Thanks, Eddie.
Thanks, Rachel. That is so exciting. So get those dates ready and get in here, because 50,000 people at Marvel Stadium will be some sort of a fight, some sort of a roar, and of course travelling right around the world on our partners. It's just fantastic. Right. An event like this just doesn't come together. We had to bring together some of world boxing's brightest and most experienced minds. And joining me now, live from Los Angeles, is Bob Arum, founder and CEO of Top Rank, one of the most famous names in world boxing. And the man we've heard a bit about there, Lou DiBella, George Kambosos' promoter. Lou, if I can start with you, mate, can you take us through the build-up over the last couple of months to pull this amazing event together that we're going to witness in 2 months' time?
Sure. It's been a crazy ride. You know, it began at Madison Square Garden with George's stunning win over Teofimo Lopez, who was perceived by many as the best fighter in the world at that moment in time. And George took care of business, became the undisputed champion. There is only one belt out there that he doesn't have, and Devin Haney has it. We negotiated to make the biggest event possible for the people of Australia. George was insistent on defending his belts at home, and he really wanted to defend them in Melbourne. And it's one of the reasons I'm so grateful to the Victorian government and to the people of Melbourne and to the Melbourne government for bringing this huge event to Marvel Stadium. And Marvel Stadium's a marvel, one of the great stadiums in the world. We spent a lot of time trying to create the biggest event we could. And actually, we had a deal to fight Vasyl Lomachenko, a man who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, who's a great, great fighter. And right after we closed the deal, the Ukraine got invaded. Lomachenko is now fighting a bigger fight with his people. He's back in the Ukraine, battling for freedom. And we had to then change course. And the biggest possible fight was this young, great fighter, this young kid with a lot of talent, Devin Haney, who had that one other belt. This is the final undisputed championship. This is the final unification at lightweight. And the winner of this fight will be the king of the lightweights. And while Devin Haney had fought a bunch of fights of his were on another network, DAZN, I was able to speak to the guy over here, who we go way back since my first days in boxing, the legend Bob Arum. And they were interested in purchasing this fight for ESPN in the United States and Canada. And we were able to put together a deal with the help of our partners, TEG and Duco. Thank you for your help. We never would have gotten to this place without you. Foxtel Main Event really, really wanted this event on pay-per-view in Australia. Great partnership with them. I'm thrilled to be working with everyone we're working with. George Kambosos wanted to fight the biggest fight possible and bring it to Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. That's what we're doing, and we're fighting Devin Haney, and it's going to be a sensational spectacle, one of the biggest fights in years.
And Lou, you can understand it, maybe for our American friends, the significance of fighting in Melbourne. We all know, of course, that George is from Sydney, but fighting in Melbourne because this is an indoor stadium here in Melbourne, Australia, but also from his Greek heritage, Melbourne is the second biggest Greek population outside of Athens in the world. So he will have the Greeks behind him, he'll have the Australians behind him. It is going to be an atmosphere like we've never seen. Lou, can you just give us a bit of an insight into how George's life has changed on the international world stage since becoming the world champion at Madison Square Garden in that amazing fight that you just spoke about?
You know, George had to travel the world and fight in various countries away from home, frankly not making a lot of money, to earn his stripes, to rise up the ratings, to force people to have to give him an opportunity. And he rose to a mandatory contender. And basically Teofimo Lopez had to fight him. And when that fight was announced, I think the only people that really, really believed George was going to win were George, his dad, his family, and his team. But George knew that he was one of the best fighters in the world. He knew that he was the best lightweight in the world. He got the opportunity to prove it. He delivered, and that was a life-changing moment. He went from being virtually unknown to one of the best-known fighters in the world of boxing, and a hero, a homecoming hero in Australia, and also a hero in Greece. You know, his Greek heritage is very important to him. That's one of the reasons why we're so thrilled to be in Melbourne, a community, a city that has such an active and vibrant Greek population. And the Spartan warrior is going to get an opportunity to perform in front of both his Australian countrymen and his people of Greek ancestry.
Thanks very much, mate. Now, Bob Arum, as you said, a legend of boxing. And Bob, you've been down here to Australia over the years. You've been through so much with the biggest fights in the history of fighting and boxing, probably for the last 40, 50 years. You know the Cinderella story. You also see the heartache involved in boxing. Now, when George went into the last fight against Lopez, he was a 13-1 against underdog going in there. You were quoted as saying you didn't think much of him, and nor did anyone else, and that's not a criticism of you. But what did you see in that fight? Well, we all saw the fight. It was one of the great fights of all time. What have you seen that suddenly you say, yeah, I want to be in this action and I want to be in Melbourne, Australia, and there's an opportunity to unify the lightweight division? How exciting is this from you, from a man of experience in promoting boxing?
Well, first, I have to say that I've learned in boxing that whatever the odds are, whatever the experts say, and whatever I may think going in, that's why they do the fights. Because in the fights, these two men who fight each other prove who is the better fighter. And on that night, there's no question in my mind that George Kambosos won that fight and won the lightweight titles that my fighter, Teofimo Lopez, possessed. George showed me a lot more ability than I thought he had. And now I think it's appropriate that we match George with a fighter who will give him a tremendous battle, and that's Devin Haney. Haney is a phenomenon. He's done extraordinarily well in a short career. He's one of the leading, if not the leading, lightweight in the world, and it's going to be a tremendous, tremendous battle here in Melbourne on June 5th. And I want to tell everybody in Australia how pleased I am, and my company are, to come back to Australia. We had a wonderful experience, although our fighter Manny Pacquiao didn't, but we had a wonderful experience in Brisbane in Queensland when we did that fight a number of years ago. And now to go back to Melbourne and give Melbourne the opportunity to host what may even be a bigger fight is something special. I can't wait for June 5th. I know I have a lot of friends in Australia, and I can't wait to see everyone. We have been using in the United States during the pandemic some Australian fighters like the Maloney brothers, and we hope to have them on the card. And it's going to be a tremendous night of boxing and a real tribute to the sport.
Good on you, Bob. And as you said, we're going to have a magnificent undercard on that night as well. Bob, you mentioned when you brought Manny Pacquiao out here in 2017 and Jeff Horn shocked the world. You brought out our man George to fight Lopez, and our man shocked the world. We love you in Australia, Bob. You bring the biggest names in boxing, and we keep winning. So we love you, mate. We love it. But tell me a bit about Devin Haney, though, because he can really go. And
we're going to keep winning. We're going to keep winning.
And tell us about this.
Well,
though,
there's going to be a time. You know, the tide comes in and the tide goes out.
Not this time.
All right, maybe not this time. Well, let's hope it will.
I know how much, Bob, you love to have the title holders in your team. Tell us a little bit about Devin Haney and what a threat he's going to be.
Well, first of all, as you'll see, he's going to be on in a little while. He's here in the studio. He's a fine young man. He's well-trained. He has great upbringing. His father has really raised a lovely young man, and he's learned the sport of boxing, and he's, as we say, he's a tough out for anybody that fights him. So you're going to see the best of American boxing when you watch Devin Haney.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Lou. Congratulations on pulling the deal together. It is going to be spectacular in 2 months' time here at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne, Australia. Congratulations again, guys, and we really appreciate the hard work that's gone in behind the scenes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce the stars. This is one of the biggest fights, as we've said, in world boxing in 2022. And it's coming to Foxtel's main event and ESPN.
November 2021. One of the greatest boilovers in boxing history.
Right here at Madison Square.
George Kambosos, the Aussie no one gave a shot, versus Teofimo Lopez, unified lightweight world champion. It was supposed to be a routine title defence. Get out of here.
Oh, what a right hand from George Kambosos, and the takeover went down.
A 12-round war crowning the reign of Emperor Kambosos.
I'm not the king. You got your 4 kings. I'm the emperor because I come to every other country and I take them out.
It's a story straight out of Hollywood. The bullied school kid who put on a pair of gloves and fell in love with boxing. A massive underdog who became world champion. Speed, intensity, determination. There's a reason they call him ferocious. Sunday, June 5, live and exclusive on Foxtel's main event, the Kambosos homecoming at Melbourne's Marvel Stadium. This undefeated superstar puts it all on the line against American Devin Haney, who holds the only belt that eludes our Aussie. Explosive, fast, 27 wins from 27 fights, and he's only 23. This is a super fight, one of world boxing's biggest events of the year. Sunday, June 5, live from Melbourne, Kambosos versus Haney for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world. And the only place you'll see it, your undisputed home of boxing, Foxtel's main event.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Wow, it's just going to be absolutely magnificent. And please welcome live from Los Angeles, the undefeated WBC World Lightweight Champion, Devin Haney, and his father and trainer, Bill. Welcome, guys. Great to have you there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marvel Stadium. In 2 months' time, he'll be walking out into the square ring to defend his titles. And these are those titles: the Ring Magazine, WBO, IBF and WBA Lightweight World Champion and WBC Franchise Champion. 20 fights, 20 wins, 10 by way of knockout. George Ferocious Kambosos.
Give them nothing, but take from them everything. This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die. On these shields, boys! Remember this day, man, for it will be yours for all time.
Spartans! Lay down your weapons!
Persian!
To Marvel Stadium, George Kambosos. George, thank you to Jim, your father. I tell you what, you need your dad to carry all that hardware around, mate. That is one impressive lot of belts there, but there's one missing. Welcome, and tell me about your first thoughts at the moment, George, about coming here to Melbourne to defend all these titles, maybe get that last remaining one as well, here in front of 50,000 Greek Australians and Australian Greeks and the world watching you. Welcome.
It is good to be back home. 5 years I've been on the road. 5 years I've been doing it tough. Doubted by many, but I stayed focused. I kept that tunnel vision. And I knew one day I'd collect all of this. And I knew one day I'd step into this stadium and collect another belt. It's great to be back home. Great to be here at Marvel Stadium. I have to thank the Melbourne government, the minister, my promoter, the Bell Entertainment, TEG, and the people of Australia, not only Melbourne, but the people of Australia, because, like I've said many times, these belts are not only mine, they're ours as a country. Greece as well, my heritage. They're ours. And when I step on this beautiful stadium, June 5th, these belts ain't going nowhere. They're staying here.
George, take us through the fight. I've never seen a boxer look so physically and mentally prepared to go into the ring. As we said, 13-1 against going in, the bookmakers, even Bob Barham, all that sort of stuff. You've had that all your life, but suddenly you stepped in there and you've never looked more at home in your life than you were in that ring in a big-time boxing event against an absolute superstar, and you held your own and then took it to a new level.
It was a fantastic win, great win, against all odds. 13-1 underdog. But I knew what I was going to do that night. I never changed. I said it all along, from day dot. I will be world champion, especially on that night. But that's the thing of the past now. I'm never content. I'm always striving for more and more. That's why I chased the biggest names. There was only 2 names I ever asked for this stadium fight, return fight. I could have fought anybody. Any person I could have picked. But what for? One of the best names. Lomachenko, Devin Haney. Unfortunately, Lomachenko's not available. Beautiful. Devin Haney, step up. Now we'll take your belt.
George, it is remarkable because generally when you go through all that build-up and you get these belts, you know, the tradition in boxing has been to maybe get some lesser credentialed fighters, build up a reputation, continue to fatten up your record, but instead you have taken on the other person who holds the lightweight belts. What's the motivation behind you? Is it just something in your DNA that you say, no, I want to be the undisputed world champion in my division?
I'm a Spartan warrior. I want the best fights. I want the best warriors to keep showing the world who I am, what I'm about. Correct, I could have fought anybody, but could I do that on my homecoming fight, my return fight, this beautiful stadium, give you guys an easy fight, and you just leave home with a sour taste in your mouth? Never. I can't look at myself in the mirror. I said I'll fight the best guys. I bring this fight back to Australia, and that I did.
And George, we've seen plenty of times over the years in all sports when people have reached the mountaintop and they get a little bit comfortable, they get a little bit easy in their own way. They start to take on some of the things that they have had to push aside in their Spartan regime to become the champion. You look as sharp today as anyone. You look like a Hugo Boss model coming out here. You look fantastic, mate. But more particularly is that you look in pristine condition to build up these next 2 months to get yourself right to defend your titles.
I'm ready to fight today. I've been putting the work. People ask me, when does Cam start? Cam started as soon as I beat Teofimo Lopez. As soon as I battered him and took all his belts, Cam started the next day. I was on the phone to Lou DiBella and to my management and to my team. Who's next? Can we get these guys? Are they going to step up to the table after that performance I just showed the world? So I'm in great condition, ready to fight. I'll fight today if we have to. I take it old school. Let's do 15 rounds in this beautiful stadium. I can't wait for June 5th.
George, take us through the difference in maybe tactics against the 2 fighters that have had to fight in the last, the last fight to win the title and this one to defend the title against Devin. Different type of fighter altogether. Have you started to work through the tactics, or are you just worrying at the moment about your physical condition?
Look, I've been a contender on the rise for a long time before I won these titles. So I've been looking at all these guys. I've got notes on all these guys. I know how to beat all these guys, and I will continue to beat all of them one by one, round by round, one by one. So, look, I'm not going to disrespect Devin Haney. He's a good boxer, but he ain't elite, and he will find that out the hard way. They call him the dream, but now that it's signed, reality's going to kick in. And day by day, that reality is going to set in stone. And you're going to see it. This stadium, this fighter you got in front of you, this ain't no game.
George, thank you. Stay with us because now we are going to cross back to Los Angeles, California, United States, and meet Devin Haney and his father, Bill, as we mentioned there. And as George said, he is a super credentialed fighter. He is a world champion in his own right, and he wants to be the unified, undisputed lightweight champion of the world, and he joins us now. Welcome, Devin. Congratulations on being able to be matched for this super fight in Melbourne, Australia. We can't wait to see you in action. What's your response and how are you feeling about this amazing bout that's coming up?
Oh, I'm so thankful. I'm so gracious for this opportunity. This is a dream come true. I thank God for it every day. I prayed for this time to come, and now the fight is official now, and I can't wait. Thank you, God. Alhamdulillah. I'm so gracious, and I can't wait.
Bill, alongside you, your father and trainer. Bill, you saw the fight where George became the champion of the world in Madison Square Garden, the home of boxing, if you like. What did you see in the opponent that your son needs to beat to achieve his lifelong dream?
Well, shout out to George Kambosos and the wonderful job he did with Teofimo Lopez. It's a true Cinderella story, no different than our story as well. This is the Super Bowl of the lightweight division, and we're happy to be a part of it. We're happy to have the dance partner and George Kambosos, a heck of a team, and Peter Kahn, Lou DiBella. Everyone has done an excellent job at making this thing happen. So we're very much looking forward to it.
Bill, take us through it. Tell us about this boy sitting next to you, your son, but also your fighter. You've trained him, you've watched him, you've built him for this very moment coming up in the next 2 months. Give us an insight into this young man.
Oh, I mean, he's amazing. He's both a great person outside the ring as well as being a great fighter inside the ring. And come June 5th, the world is going to get a chance to see. It's a lot of different dimensions to his game. He has an arsenal full of different things, a toolbox full of different things. And come June 5th, the world will get a chance to see how much he'll put on display.
So, Devin, can I ask you, your style of fighting, having seen George in action as well, tell us how you'll approach this fight, what you'll do over the next 2 months, the training regime, the sparring regime, to be able to become the undisputed world champion.
I think George is a great fighter, and I've been asking for the top fighters for a while now, and I finally have, gotten one of them that's in their prime, that's coming off the biggest win of their career. So I'm happy about that. But what I will do is go in there and handicap George of the things that he does best. I will take away from him and make it an easy night.
Bill, thank you very much for joining us. If I can ask you, Devin, just to finish up from there before we open it to the world's media, tell me, what's your message to the people of America and here in Melbourne, Australia, and George's fans about what you're going to bring to Marvel Stadium in 2 months' time?
Oh, thank you to all the fans that's tuning in, all the fans in Australia, all the fans in the U.S., all the George's fans, all of my fans. Without you guys, this fight wouldn't have been able to get made. So I want to say thank you guys for that. And tune in June 5th. It's going to be a hell of a fight, the biggest fight of the year by far, and it's for all the marbles. So it will be final. It will finally be a king of the lightweight division, and it will be me.
Devin and Bill, thank you. Stay with us for some questions from our media ensemble who are here. George, I want to put it to you. That's a man there who's a fine athlete. He's a wonderful person by the sounds of things as well, and well-credentialed. Humble man wanting to be a champion. You've got those belts in front of you. He wants to take them away. Have you got a final message for the world's media today?
Yeah, I respect that. But he says he will finish his fight as a king. What's a king to an emperor? I am the emperor. I've gone and done that, and now I will conquer even more. So I respect it. He's a good kid. But just know that we chose you. We looked for the biggest fights. Could have fought anybody. There's a reason why. So June 5th, looking forward to it.
June 5th is going to be great. These two amazing athletes, amazing fighters, courage personified, going toe-to-toe for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, and my colleagues from the media, it now gives me great pleasure to open the floor for questions to both Devin Haney and George Kambosos.
Hi, Devin and Bill. Just one for each of you, please. Devin, George has proven himself as a real road warrior. He's won all over the world. Just want to know what gives you confidence that you can come down and perform in front of a really hostile crowd. It's going to be something really different for you. And Bill, just in terms of his camp, will you change anything up with different time zones? I'm just interested in how you'll approach piecing together his camp for this fight as well.
First off, I want to start off by saying I'm not a kid, so he can stop calling me a kid. I'm a man, and I will show him that in the ring. Respect me as a man, and if he doesn't want to respect me as a man, I'll gain the respect in the ring. And second of all, he could say that he chose me, but that's not the truth. He was forced into this fight. He did not want to fight me, and up until today, he did not want to sign the contract. Up until today, so he could say what he want to say. He did not choose me. He was forced into it.
You were chosen, boy.
And,
you were chosen.
Can you repeat the question for me again?
Sorry,
no, I wasn't chosen.
You were chosen.
No, he was forced.
You got forced into this position.
You didn't want this fight.
Position. I'll take the same deal as Loma does. I'll take the same deal as Loma. Yeah, you're on a different broadcast.
And what did I do?
You're on a different broadcast. You're on a different broadcast.
And what did I do?
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Because I knew I could beat you.
Show me June 5th.
I trusted my skills so much that I knew. No matter what, I'd fight you anywhere, wherever. I'd fight you in your backyard if I had to, because I know that I'm gonna beat you. And you'll see June 5th.
I'll be waiting.
June 5th, there we go. It was going so nicely there for a while too, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? But you can see the fighter's instinct.
He's upset, Eddie.
There's so much on the line, you can just feel it. The secondary question was to George?
No, the second one was to Bill. I was just interested in how
what am I going to be upset about? I'm about to become undisputed. This is a dream come true for me. What am I be upset about?
You sound very angry. You sound very upset. I want to see that energy when you step in here in June 5th with me. Just answer the question.
You got it, bro.
Come on, Bill, answer it for him.
Yeah, Bill, I just want to know about your camp.
Hey, you don't tell me what to do. I answer the question when I want to answer the question. If you tell me to answer the question, I'm not answering it.
Bill looks like a world champion. Look how he's dressed. He's dressed like me, sharp, in the suit. Devin forgot the suit. I don't know if he owns one, but this is fun.
I don't need to wear that. I want to wear these belts on June 5th. I'm gonna show you how to wear the belts on June 5th.
Reality's kicking in. You ain't gonna go near them. This is just a dream for you. Just enjoy it.
Bill, can we get you to answer
dream come true?
Maybe. Bill, the question was.
Yes, sir. Can we get a repeat on the question, sir?
We can indeed.
I happened to be enjoying these fine young champions.
Bill, hi. I just wanted to know what you're going to do with your camp and the changes you're going to make, having to travel all the way down here, different time zones, acclimatising. I mean, what sort of challenge is this for you as a trainer to get all this right ahead of the fight?
Well, actually, shout out to the Victorian government and both. I have to say again, Peter Khan, who's also offered us first-class treatment to come over and train and get ready to give the people the fight that they're clamoring for, to make sure that these two gentlemen are well taken care of, and it's a fight that's going to be settled in the ring. I know that it's something that Kambosos made as the last option. I have a lot of respect for him and Jim, but Devin was the last option. And alhamdulillah, God doesn't make any mistakes. Now it's set forth to June 5th. Everything will be finalized and settled. Shout out to Bob Arum and Top Rank for providing this platform. And ESPN, it's going to be a heck of a fight. We plan to come out a month in advance to Australia. Hopefully we can get a chance to do some media and also put in the work that we want to need and get adjusted to the climate.
Next question.
Hi, this question is also for Bill. Bill, George really seemed to get into Lopez's head in the lead up to the fight at some of the pre-match press conferences. Is that something that you need to be mindful of in terms of you keeping Devin's, I guess, mind on track?
Already in his head.
No. I think that's just something that's George's personality. But when the two men meet in the ring, it's going to be settled. It's all about skills. Skills will pay the bills. Nothing that George can do or say can get Dev out of his character. Dev is ready for this fight. George spoke about the many miles, the 8,000 miles, or the journey to come over. This has been a 15-year journey for Devin. So the amount of time that it's going to take to come over, anything that George is going to say, anything that any fans or anything that's going to do, it won't be anything that's going to be that's going to disrupt him. We graduated, we made our bones in Mexico, in small bars, onto this big stage. So nothing that is going to surprise us. Devin is going to be ready for everything. And we look forward to performing in front of the Australian fans.
Thanks very much, Bill. Next question from the media.
Question for Devin Haney. Devin, last time George fought, he overcame one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on earth in Teofimo Lopez. Why do you pose more of a threat to George than Teofimo did?
Because styles make fights at the end of the day. He had a great night on that night, and he beat Teofimo, but I'm a different fighter than Teofimo, and I will show. Like I said, the things that he does best, I will take away from him.
And the last question from our media.
One for you, George. Just wondering, mate, what it would mean to you to be the country's first ever undisputed world champion.
Look, I'm very excited. I've worked extremely hard. I've gone back and forth from the US, all over the world I've been to get to this. These guys sit there and complain. They're making millions of dollars and they complain about a trip all the way to down under. I've done that trip for free, lost money with my family and my kids in the cattle class with screaming babies to achieve this. So they're worried about a trip down under, so I'm very excited. I've achieved this, but again, I never get content. I never get content. I'm striving for more and more. And these guys are just another person in front of me. I will take them out, and I will move on to who's next.
Thank you, everybody. And Bill and Devin, can I say thank you so much for being part of it.
We signed up for it twice. Hey, we wanted it so bad, and we want to look for. We're looking forward to performing in front of the Australian people and the Greeks and on all your fans, not once but twice. So it ain't like that we did not look forward to this. We signed up for it not once but twice, and I don't know too many teams that would have signed up for it. That's how much we're looking to come down under, my brother.
You had no choice.
Well, the great thing is the deal has been done, so whatever happened beforehand doesn't matter anymore. There's only one thing to worry about now, and that is Sunday, June 5th. And if I can say to Devin and Bill, thank you very much for coming along this morning.
And I'll become undisputed June 5th. I look forward to it.
We look forward to you coming down and having a go at it, Devin, and we look forward to George stepping into the ring as the champion of the world. You two great champions. It's going to be something fantastic for us sports lovers. You two have to go hard at each other because it is mano on mano when it gets to boxing. We understand that the mindset that is required, there's no niceties about it, and we respect you both as champions, and one of you will be the undisputed champion of the world. Thank you again, Bill. Thank you, Devin, for joining us today, and thank you, George. May I just say this, Sunday, June 5th, there is no other place you want to be than right here at Marvel Stadium or on pay-per-view in Australia on Main Event and right around the world in America, available on ESPN. As we heard a little bit earlier, corporate hospitality, including those magnificent ringside seats, are on sale now through vipnow.com.au. That's VIP now, vipnow.com.au. Travel packages. You can come over first class as well, just like the challenger here tonight has been saying how wonderful it is. You can come with the Haney family if you like, but the packages are absolutely on sale right now. Go to Keith Prowse Travel, that's kpt.com.au, for your travel packages from right around Australia to come to Melbourne and right around the world to come to the sports capital, Melbourne, Australia. Marvel Stadium, Sunday, June 5, and pay-per-view in Australia on the Main Event, and in America, ESPN. And of course, you can join the wait list for tickets at ticketek.com.au. That's ticketek.com.au for the general admission tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an historic morning. It is an unbelievable occurrence that's going to happen in 2 months' time on June 5, and that is the unification of the lightweight championship of the world. As we know in boxing, sometimes there's an alphabet soup of different belts around the place. This is the time when the two best available fighters come together. The two best fighters who have all the belts in one place at one time, right here at Marvel Stadium, Melbourne, Australia, and on Main Event. It's going to be something special. George, you've done yourself proud today, mate. Thank you for turning out the way you have as far as your expertise as a fighter. We just admire you so much that you've done it the hard way, and you'll walk in to this amazing arena as the champion of the world. And to Devon, we respect you as an amazing fighter as well, and we welcome you to Melbourne, Australia, when two of the greatest fighters go head-to-head. What a day it's been for boxing. What a day it's been for the Main Event at ESPN and for Melbourne, Australia. We cannot wait for June 5. It's going to be an awesome event.